Hey everybody. Just a quick heads up. So, apparently, credit cards and so forth are randomly lowering people's credit limits without even telling them. This just happened to me. I went and got work done, or started to get work done on my car 2 days ago. And what's funny is I even had the option to prepay, and I should have, I guess. Hindsight's always 2020. But anyway, they ended up having to keep my car overnight, and I didn't want to pay until the work was done, which is, rational, reasonable, right? But I was offered the option to prepay. And anyway, long story short, when I dropped the car off, my credit limit was a certain amount that would have covered the amount of work I was having done. And then by the time the car was done, a day later, I found out that my credit cards, I have an automobile credit card, which I normally don't open those kinds of cards, but I had to in an emergency a few years ago, and I've just had it since. And even though my goal was to pay it off, I ended up keep needing to have work done and blah blah blah. Anyway, but point is, overnight, literally overnight, while my car was in the shop, they lowered my credit limit pretty much the exact amount that I was getting work done. And I ended up having to debit that. Now, praise the Lord, I just got my unemployment, and I technically had the money in my checking account to pay for it. But just a heads up that this is what's happening. So do not take your credit limit for granted, and before you plan or make any transactions, like immediately before you make the transaction, check what your credit availability is, because it might have changed. This happened to me, and I just emailed my father because he's my co-signer on this card, and he said that he heard on the news that this is happening. I don't keep up with the quote-unquote news. But for those of you who are unaware, just trying to make you aware so that you don't end up in a situation like I just did, where, you make a decision based on taking certain things for granted, and then the rug's pulled out from under your feet. I wouldn't have gotten this work done on my car. I've been putting this work off on my car for years, literally like a good 3 or 4 years, and the only reason I was going to get it done was because I had the available credit. And then overnight, that available credit vanished. So, just giving you a heads up here. Alright, bye.